Yeah, I wanted to show this real quick. Combustion chamber is filled with gas. And it's going to be messy because I couldn't get this bottom nut off, so got to do it this way. It's putting a little bit too much stress on the block, and I don't want to crack that sump. But this is due to simply not shutting off this fuel valve, which I should have done. Something as simple as that. That's the reason I put it on there, because before my neighbor gave this machine to me, he had that problem too, where his sump filled up with gas. And I checked the tank, and it was bone dry. So I knew right away. There was no way I ran it dry last time I used it in the fall. So guess it needed an oil change anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Obviously, the primary cause of this issue is a needle and seat not sealing to shut off the gas. So inside the float ball, you have the float, and connected to the float is the needle and seat, which aren't sealing to cut off the gas. Now, it's a relatively simple fix, and I'll get around to it eventually. But I don't really have time to mess around with that right now. I'm just trying to get this grass cut and get back to the current machine I'm working on. But I just figured I'd show that. That's what happens. So, I have other carburetors. I could throw another carburetor on, or I could pull that and replace the needle and seat, which I'll do eventually. But something like that, if you don't know better, you could blow your engine up because you don't have proper lubrication, because the oil is fully diluted with gasoline, so the lubrication of the oil isn't there. Plus, you got too much in there, which could cause other problems. You're only supposed to have 48 ounces, and I would call that it's definitely over 48 ounces. Doesn't smell too bad. It means the tank was almost empty, but it's definitely got its. I definitely got my money's worth out of that oil. So I just figured I'd show that. So when you first, two things: in the fall, when you know it's the last time you're using the machine, or most likely the last time you're using the machine, just shut the valve off. And then in the spring, before you do anything, obviously you're going to check and see if you have gas. So you check your oil too, and if the oil is up over the dipstick, over the mark, which it was way over, it was like twice as much on the stick, then you know that gas diluted the oil and that you have to change it right away. I mean, it's good practice to do that first thing anyway, but I was just planning on putting gas in it, checking the oil, and going to town. These older machines, like this L head, they're pretty durable. You know what I mean? As long as you keep the oil to the proper level, these engines really don't give up. But like these newer ones, forget it. You don't change that oil on a regular basis, it blows up. I see them blown up all the time, which I've mentioned many times. These older ones, I rarely see these blown up. And these things, this is what, 93? So that's 30 years old. These engines are going, the last ones were built in 03, so they're 20 years old now. And the only times I ever see these engines fail is lack of maintenance. So never changing the oil or something like this happening and not catching it. But otherwise, they're pretty durable. And like I said, my neighbor used it with gas in the combustion chamber, and it still didn't blow up. And then I had it. You know, was what, 17, 18 years old at the time? No, excuse me. This is a 93, so 27. So they're durable engines. They don't ask for much. You know what I mean? All they want is oil, clean air filter, spark plugs. You know, the J19LMs, they last forever, as long as they don't get fouled, and fresh gas. You do that, these things will keep going on and on and on. So I don't want to ramble on any further. I just wanted to show it. Wasn't like I said, it wasn't the worst I've seen. Like, I've seen it where it has no lubrication left, where it just comes out straight, you know, liquid. This one's, it's coming out still. It came out still somewhat oily, you know, not completely diluted, but still, it's a good thing I caught it. Obviously, I don't want to blow this motor up. I have at least one more, two more maybe. So if I had, you know, if something colossal did occur, I could swap the engine out. But, you know, it's not something I'm trying to do right now. You know what I mean? I just want to do the basics and get to it. But I have seen these cracked right here. And this did not want to let loose, so I'm going to put it in the vise now that I have it out, and crack this oil drain plug loose. See, I started more at it because I tried it with a pipe wrench, wouldn't go. Tried it with a this kind of wrench, wouldn't go. So I didn't have enough leverage, but still, if I had put enough leverage on there, it's a good chance I could have cracked the sump. So that's when I decided just to twist the whole pipe out and do it that way. I'm going to have to put some Teflon on these threads, put it back in there. All right? So, just felt I'd share that start of spring tip for your machines, gasoline-powered machines. All right, guys? That's the first video with me doing some dialogue this year. I'll pick up the pace as I have time and energy to do so. All right, later.